Coach Andy Hall. Bought the guys a drink and told them to carry this in. They left it over by the bar.
They brought their food.
That's how they got their drinks. Yeah, well, not really. They might think that. Again, what an honor and a privilege to be back to speak to such a esteemed company. I'm very honored and flattered to be here, and thankful for the effort that my kids have put out here to get us to the point where we're going basically tomorrow to the Western Regional Championships for the American Legion Tournament. I didn't really know, I don't really have anything written down, so I'm just going to kind of go shoot from the hip and kind of tell you where we've been and where we hope to be in about 2 weeks. American Legion Baseball, I've been coaching really honestly for about 20 years, and I didn't really know a lot about Yountville other than the rumor was if you win the local tournament, you really don't want to go to Yountville because it's just not where you want to be the last part of your summer vacation. And I went up there with that in my mind's eye, that this is going to be some nice looking baseball field in the middle of a dirt lot with some gomer pile barracks that we're going to stay in with no air conditioning. And to a certain degree it is, but also to a certain degree it exceeded my my vision of what it is. It's a retirement home for VFWs, and there's about 1,100 that live on the property up in Yountville, which is about 50 miles north of San Francisco. I was really excited initially when we won the tournament at Paramount a couple Sundays ago because I knew I'd have a chance to go up and see my brother, take my kids up who love to play with their cousins that live up there, and also have a chance to kind of get away from Long Beach for a couple days. When we pulled onto the property, immediately it was, man, this is not what I envisioned. It's kind of like El Dorado Park with a lot of government buildings there, barracks, and 1,100 VFWs that are absolutely just tickled pink to have this tournament on their property. Every morning from 7 to 8, they have breakfast in the cafeteria, where they invited us to come in and have breakfast. We didn't get to eat there but 2 days because we had later games in the second and third game that we played, and most of my guys were still asleep when breakfast was already finished up. But I did have breakfast the first day in the cafe, and was really impressed by how welcome we were made to feel being there. And I went out on the field and I told the kids, you guys have such a wonderful opportunity here. These guys love having you here, and if you want to know some war stories, they're filled with them. And you sit down at the table with those guys, and it just makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up to know that you're having breakfast with some people that make our country as great as it is today. As far as the tournament was concerned, I kind of went up there with not really high expectations and wanted to be perfectly honest, because the rumor is that when you get up there, you're playing against junior college guys and guys that have just graduated high school. And in this area right here with the Lakewoods and Millicans and Pollys, we pretty much use American Legion as our testing ground for next year's team. We don't necessarily go in with great ideas that we're going to the American Legion World Series as much as we are trying to figure out what do we have for a team next year. And so I think that really kind of adds to our accomplishment this past weekend up in Yountville. When I initially got to the stadium, the tournament director said to me, hey, Coach, how come you guys aren't playing in the B division? I said, there's a B division? He says, yeah, for the 17 and unders. And I said, well, I don't know, this is just the way we've always done it. And I think part of the reason, and a name that I'm going to throw out might make some, John Stevenson was the longtime coach at El Segundo High School for 50 years, and his deal was he had an A team, and he also had a B team that he played in the American Legion, and invariably his team would win the Legion tournament every year and then go back up to Yountville. But since John's passed away, and actually even in the last couple of years of his tenure at El Segundo, he never had that extra team. And so we're kind of in this area where we're still playing in the A division, but we're playing against guys that are truly A guys with probably more 17 and under players. So when we get up there and play the first game against San Bernardino, they got some guy that looks like he graduated from high school about 5 years ago instead of a year ago. He's on the mound, and he goes pretty much all 9 innings against us, and turns around 3 or 4 days later and goes 9 more innings against us in the championship game without breaking a sweat, it looked like. But except for the opportunities that our guys had at the plate to kind of dismantle him a little bit. On Saturday, that was the San Bernardino game. We opened up with a 7-6 victory. On Sunday, we went in to play the Legionnaires' favorite, is what I was told, which is Merced. That was supposedly their tune-up for the Western Regionals, which start on Thursday for us. And probably, hands down, one of the most exciting games that I've ever coached or been a part of as a player. We're up 4 runs. By the way, we normally play 7 innings throughout the summer, and as soon as we start the Legion tournament, it's 9 innings. So we've got Merced down 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th with 3-2 count, the bases loaded, and a 4-run lead. And this sucker hits one down the right field line, went right on top of the white line. 2 runs score. Next thing you know, 2 more runs score, bases loaded. I don't know how, but we get a ground ball, and Danny DeWolf picks it up and flips it to our shortstop. Their guy from third base running home like they won. They're moving on, and no, that didn't happen that way. We ended up going 11 innings and beating them 12-9 or something like that to get to the semis. Semi-final, we played a team from Playa del Rey, an all-star team again. They call themselves Westchester High School, but a lot of kids from Centennial and Sarah and some of those schools out there. You know, they thought they were going to kind of take us down real quick too, because they again had some older players. We managed to take them down, and then, like I said, play San Bernardino again on Tuesday. The deal being that we were in the winners bracket. They had to beat us twice on Sunday. All I can think about is I don't want to drive home from San Francisco at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to get out here at noon. And fortunately, our guys bowed their necks a little bit and beat them 11-5. And as we're going to the game, I'm thinking to myself, Wilson Bruins, California State champions. That's got a pretty good ring to it. And you don't want to think about those things until the game is over. But fortunately, we're where we are. And so tomorrow we're going to board a plane on the dime of the American Legion, fly to Las Vegas. They're going to put us up at a hotel in Henderson, thankfully, and not on the Strip.
Half the team. It's all dangerous. It's all dangerous, guys.
I told the parents, we had a meeting last night. I said, forever and ever, I've never really wanted to take my team on the road overnight. We've kind of climbed that hill by going to Yountville. I will tell you that I was told by the tournament director that our guys were probably the most well-behaved group of guys that we had up there, that they had up there in a long time as well, especially for this year. But I told the parents, the one thing that I've really, really been trying to dodge for 20 years as a high school coach is taking the team to Vegas. And lo and behold, there we go tomorrow. We're going to be on a plane. So thankfully, we're going to be in Henderson, and I think that they understand that there's a lot more that rides on this than just winning the
Players will be fine.
Western
Don't
Region.
worry about the parents.
Yeah, good point. And the coaches. But at this point for us, I think the feeling is that we're going to go in and just let it rip and play as hard as we can. If we got to run up against some former college guys, our attitude is kind of the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And we're going to try to have some fun. I think that we're in a no-lose situation at this point. Our guys have certainly benefited from the opportunity of sleeping in this sweaty barrack for 5 nights together and learning about each other's bad habits and stuff like that. But I think that's going to stand to make us a better team, which is, remember when I started out, that was the goal when we started out this summer, was to just kind of figure out what we've got. And so we've gotten a real head start on next year, and